It is a packed hour ahead right here on Fox 29. It's so good to have you with us. I'm Thomas Drayton. We are live in the Fox 29 newsroom. And we are starting with the latest on that mystery in Delaware. How did a connected Washington insider end up dead in a landfill? Claudia Gomez live tonight down in Wilmington. What's the latest there, Claudia?
Thomas, we have a couple of developments for you. First off, the Philadelphia Inquirer is reporting that sources close to this investigation say that Jack Wheeler had some kind of involvement in two smoke bombs placed in a house under construction across the street from his home in Newcastle. Keep in mind, this is a Harvard grad, a Yale grad, a West Point grad, so really unusual behavior. And this would have been early last week before he turned up dead. What is emerging here is a portrait of a really troubled man. Take a look at what we're talking about. This is surveillance video from a parking garage next to the county courthouse here in Newcastle County. He is walking around with one shoe in his hand, one shoe on, as we told you yesterday. He seemed to be unclear about exactly where he was. He was looking for a car that he had not parked there. Some parking attendants were trying to help him out, but of course they couldn't find the car because there was no car there. He had not parked there. So the question is, what brought him there? Listen to what he told a courthouse security guard.
He told us that his brother dropped him off 2 days ago here in Wilmington to visit his mother, and that he had been robbed. And we was like, "You okay?" And he said, "Yeah." So a couple state workers was there with me, Charlie and Marianne, offered him money, and I said, "Wait a minute," because I was thinking because his eyes was red, maybe he had been drinking or whatever, you know. So he said, "No, don't need no money, got plenty money."
Two big problems we're talking about there. If he had just been robbed, then why did he not need any money? And the other problem is, he said his brother dropped him off to visit his mother. Well, we learned from close friends of his that both his only brother and his mother had long since died. So again, clearly a portrait of a troubled man before his death, Thomas.
But as you said, so many questions here. And we understand tonight, Claudia, police have narrowed the timeline of his death?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a much better idea now of when his death may have occurred. They placed him here at this office building, the Nemours building, at 8:30 the night before he died. Take a look at these shots of the Nemours building, a few wider shots of the building we're talking about. It's an office building at that corner of 10th and Orange where police had originally placed him. But the video that police got, surveillance video from the lobby, shows that he was inside that building, again, as late as 8:30 the night before he died. That would have been about 8 hours before his body would have turned up in that garbage bin about 15 miles south of here. So quite bizarre. He went up to the 11th floor looking for help, said he needed a ride to Philly. Again, the portrait of a man who clearly needs help. So we asked the question, why didn't all those people who came into contact with him over those couple of days in downtown Wilmington, why didn't they do something more to help?
I wish he asked me, you know what, can you help me with this? Absolutely, I would have helped him.
Do you feel like maybe you should have done something in hindsight? And it's not to criticize you, I'm just wondering.
No, really, after I saw his picture in the news and after I learned what happened to him, I wish that I can go back in time and I would have done a lot more than what I did.
It is really sad, isn't it? Yeah.
I felt like, that's the guy that I just saw him, a few hours ago.
Yeah.
And he's not here anymore. I felt bad.
Yeah, it really is sad. I'm going through this timeline here, Claudia, as you said, bizarre. Before he arrived in downtown Wilmington, he went into his neighborhood drugstore.
Yeah, this is the other really strange factor, Thomas. He went into his neighborhood drugstore in Newcastle, which is about 8 miles south of here. He went to talk to his pharmacist. This is the drugstore that we're talking about on Route 9 in Newcastle. He went inside. He told his pharmacist that he needed a ride to Wilmington. The pharmacist told the local newspaper here, the News Journal, that he seemed really angry or upset. The pharmacist offered to call a cab company, but Mr. Wheeler said, no, thanks. And he left there. About 40 minutes later, he turned up here in downtown Wilmington. That is an 8-mile trip, so too far for him to walk it. So it sounds like he got some kind of ride here. Maybe as a hitchhiker, we're not quite certain. Police are also trying to figure that out. So still a lot of questions here about what actually caused his death. We have no cause of death yet at this point. No suspects that police are telling us about. So we'll have to wait and see what tomorrow brings, Thomas.
So many elements to piece together. Claudia Gomez reporting tonight. Claudia, thank you.